If your gut instinct tells you it's time to get your gut in better shape, both inside and out, our next guest has the solution.
Yeah, here to discuss the importance of having a happy, healthy gut and how supplements can help is Dr. Sue DeCotiis. Welcome to Rise 360.
How are you?
Great, thank you.
So how's your gut today?
I don't know.
My gut is not feeling too bad right now. We don't often think about gut health, right, until we start developing a gut.
Exactly, and realize that probably up to 50% of people in the U.S. have irritable bowel syndrome.
Really? 50%, that many?
Which means constipation, irregularity, bloating. People can feel very uncomfortable, and it can really be very disruptive. And a lot of times, if you have irritable bowel, you also could have a weight problem.
Oh.
So everything with your health really starts and ends with your gut. So remember that. If you're ill, fix your gut first.
Okay, well, what is a bad gut? Like, how do you, besides you having a gut sticking out, you know, how do you know your gut's unhealthy?
Well, I think what happens a lot of times is a lot of us do because of our environment. You know, a lot of the junk food that we've eaten, chemicals, herbicides in our foods, a lot of prescription drugs can interfere with our guts and we don't even realize it. Things that we take over the counter, realize that the foods that we're eating today are not as nutritious as they used to be because of the way our soil is fertilized. So a lot of us have really grown up with all of these environmental influences that can negatively affect the bacteria in our gut, and stress is also a big thing. That can really affect our gut bacteria. So you have to start out with healthy bacteria in the gut. And if you don't have that, there's a lot of inflammation, and that can really affect the lining cells of the gut.
Wow.
And when that happens, that barrier of the gut is not as good as it used to be, and you could be absorbing things from your food that you really shouldn't be absorbing.
Wow, very interesting. Water is very important in having a healthy gut.
It is. If you're not drinking enough water and you're dehydrated, that's going to affect you.
We always hear 8 glasses. How much is enough?
Yeah, I mean, we hear 8, we hear 6, we hear even more
I think
sometimes.
it depends on you. If you're exercising more, if you live in a warm climate, you definitely need more water. But for some people, water is not enough. And I really think that everybody should start with a probiotic.
Okay.
And a probiotic is, and there are many of them out there, some of them are really not that great. They really need to contain, in order to work, over 50 billion species of bacteria. Oh, wow. And you need to have representation of 9 different species.
How do you find that out?
Well, you have to read your labels.
Okay, you've got to read.
You've got to read your labels, and there are a lot of third-party sources. The U.S. government is a good source, and there are many websites where they really just test these things to make sure they're good.
A lot of yogurts contain probiotics,
they do,
don't they? Because I think of yogurt when you say probiotic.
However, it's not strong enough. So if you have a real gut problem and a weight problem, yogurt is great because it's a good source of protein, especially Greek yogurt. But it's not going to be enough to really change what's going on inside your gut.
Okay, well, you keep mentioning weight problems. Is it that all people that are overweight have unhealthy guts, or how does having a healthy gut?
I think for the most part, that's a good point. I think for the most part, that's true. I think they have different species than other people do. And for example, people that live to 100 years old, they have different species of bacteria in their gut than people that live to 70.
So we have to make sure we get the right bacteria.
You need the good bacteria. You need to keep taking it. If you've had a long history of problems, you probably need to take it longer. And then also you want to start taking a prebiotic.
Okay, what's a prebiotic?
So a prebiotic. It's like, how do you know what to take? Well, this is kind of like, I have like a gut program in my practice that really helps people lose weight and maintain hormonal balance.
Okay.
So basically, a prebiotic is something that has a lot of sugars in it that is not digestible by the human body, but that's digestible by the gut bacteria, and they thrive on that. So it's like you fertilize your lawn, you fertilize your gut bacteria.
Very
well, you have a lot of options here for us.
Yes,
so what do you recommend? Tell us about some of these products.
And these are actually supplements, aren't they?
They
You've started your own line, and this is from your line.
They're medical-grade supplements. They're very high quality. They're made with the same care that pharmaceutical products are made that you would get a prescription for. So, for example, this is a great probiotic to take if you tend to have looser stools and you're running to the bathroom more, okay? So that's a good thing to start with. And then we have this is just like our basic probiotic that I think would benefit most people. And the difference is the different types of species in it.
Is this something that people should just take on a regular basis?
I think
everyone should take something like that,
I think
if you're having problems?
Yes, I think every adult and every child, even dogs now are going on probiotics.
Really?
Because don't forget, when your gut is healthy, your immune system is healthier. So a lot of us that have, you're hearing about all these kids today that have peanut allergies and food sensitivities. A lot of that is when the gut is leaky. because the lining cells are not strong enough.
Okay.
And what happens is that you have billions of immune cells that are sitting right underneath the gut, and they're becoming affected by what's happening in the gut. So for those patients, I recommend something like this.
And what's that called?
This is called Immune Aid, and this has quercetin and a couple of other really important biologics in it that really help your probiotics do a better job and kind of keep the whole allergic system and immune system calm.
So you take this before eating?
You can, yes, and this is a chewable tablet.
How often should we take some of these?
Well, I think the directions are on the bottle, but I mean basically 2 or 3 a day.
Okay.
And I think a probiotic 1 or 2 a day, depending on your situation.
Okay.
And this is also a really good thing to take.
What's
This really,
this one?
L-glutamine, this can help you after you work out. It helps build muscle. But it also helps enforce the lining cells of your gut, and it can take hunger away naturally.
That's the one I need.
Yeah.
And look here, you have a metabolic booster,
Yes.
so that's good if you're trying to lose weight, I'm assuming.
So this is wonderful as you get a little bit older and your metabolism slows down. This helps increase your insulin sensitivity. And the #1 reason I think why we have so much obesity in the U.S. is insulin resistance. Our insulin isn't working as well. And a lot of that is due to environmental influences like foods and chemicals and things like that, but also with aging. Your insulin doesn't work as well.
Okay, now this can be intimidating for some people because there's like so many different
quite
options.
overwhelming,
If you only had to pick one, what should we start with
I would
today?
start with the probiotic.
Probiotic.
I really would.
Okay, and which one here would you go for?
This is one of our great ones, and this is a very basic one.
And that's called Proper
Gut.
Okay, Proper
Then we
Gut.
have another one called Gut Power, which I'm not sure if they
that.
brought out, and that's a really good, strong, broad spectrum.
Okay, so
Gut
one
Power.
of these
Exactly.
will work well
And this
for
is
you.
like a scoop, and these are capsules. And then again, if you have problems for a long time, you probably want to do the prebiotic, which is the GI support.
Okay. Now where
So
can we
that's a
get
great
all
thing
of
to
these?
do. You can get them on my website, drdecotiis.com.
Okay, I think I'm going to go get some probiotics today.
Yeah, sounds very interesting.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, and we'll be right back with more Rise 360.